moon waned over a Hawaiian night as a boy ran into the woods behind his house. Sweat stung the child's eyes as he reached the familiar mountain path, but his pursuer erupted from the bushes and tackled him. The boy's pursuer was his cousin, who laughed as he pinned the youngster to the ground while the squirming child apologized and struggled to escape. A dull thud pierced the commotion. The relatives froze and listened for cars speeding on the highway or chirping insects. A dull thud filled the stillness. Tears fell from the child's face as his cousin quietly helped him up, and they ran home. A conch shell blown in the distance announced the approaching procession. The procession was Hawaii's night marchers, and this is Legends from the Pacific. Aloha, and thank you for joining us. This is Legends from the Pacific, Episode 12, Hawaii's Deadly Royal Procession, The Night Marchers. I am Kamuela Kaneshiro. This episode continues our month-long focus on Hawaii, so please follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and share us with your friends and family. Later in this episode, your featured Hawaiian word, song, and my personal experiences. But first, the Night Marchers. The Night Marchers are considered Hawaii's most commonly encountered supernatural beings and the deadliest. Because if your paths cross, they'll kill you and you'll join their procession. They've been reported across the state by people of all ethnicities and educational background who've heard drumming, blowing of conch shells, or seen a distant torchlit procession traveling across undeveloped areas or advancing down a mountainside. The Night Marchers are known as Huaka'i Po. Huaka'i means parade or procession. Po means night. The Huaka'i Po are the ghosts of Hawaii's chiefs or ali'i, who march in a procession to Hawaii's sacred grounds or temples known as heiaus. The Night Marchers' practices can be traced back to ancient Hawaii's laws and beliefs. You see, Hawaiians believed ali'i were descended from gods and had power or mana, which needed to be preserved. As stated in our Kamehameha episode, you can obtain an ali'i's mana by having a piece of them or getting their bones. An alive ali'i could lose mana by interacting with a lower-ranked person like a commoner. These interactions included a commoner seeing an ali'i or if an ali'i's shadow touched a commoner. Strict laws or kapus were established to preserve an ali'i's mana, and violators were immediately brutally killed to restore the ali'i's mana and appease the gods. Now, there are tons of kapus, including one where men and women could not eat together. This has actually been seen in other Pacific and Asian cultures. Kapu violators could try escaping death by avoiding capture and fleeing to a pu'u honua, or place of refuge, to be forgiven. The ali'i's procession established rituals to alert commoners of their approach. Blown conch shells or drums gave commoners time to stop what they were doing and flee, or bow on the ground and not look at them. Those who bowed watched the ground to ensure they didn't touch the procession's shadows, because the ali'i or lesser ali'i might be part of the procession. It's believed the Night Marchers appear during Po Kane, which is the 27th moon phase of the Hawaiian lunar calendar. Po Kane, or Night of Kane, is named after Kane, the god or akua of nature, water, and life. Kane was also one of Hawaii's 4 major gods, but that's a story for another time. It's unknown why night marchers appear on Po Kane. One theory is, since Kane was the god of nature, water, and life, Po Kane was when Ali'i tended to the upkeep of sacred places and heiaus. Also, the moon's phase provided enough light for the Ali'i to work while casting the smallest shadow. So the Ali'i didn't have to worry about losing their mana among their retainers. Night marchers walk through things, but will avoid Hawaiian tea plants, or cordyline fruticosa, which is different from drinking tea. The plant's leaves, or tea leaves, are sacred to the Hawaiian god Lono and the goddess of hula, Laka. Lono is another of Hawaii's 4 major gods, and Laka was mentioned in our Pele episode. This is possibly why tea leaves are used in Hawaiian ceremonies and to bring good luck. It should be noted that planting tea plants to detour night marchers alters their path, so you might redirect them to others. But there are ways to protect yourself. Animals are known to sense night marchers before they are heard. If you hear an approaching conch shell or drumming, you should run away or stay indoors. If you encounter night marchers, it's believed they'll leave you alone if you play dead or bow on the ground and not look at them. There's a belief that taking off your clothes and urinating on yourself will keep you safe because these actions make you seem repulsive or unclean. But the effectiveness of this is questionable. However, you might be saved if your ancestor is in the night marcher's procession. There's tales of Asians being spared because their ancestors were plantation workers who were killed by the night marchers and joined their procession. Still to come, your featured Hawaiian word, song, and my personal experiences, but now, a story. The following is a Legends from the Pacific original story and is based on collected testimony. A Hawaiian family loved their son, who had an imaginary friend. The family lived in an old Hawaiian house raised on stilts. Like many locals, the family used the crawl space under the house for storage. The parents decided to rearrange their son's room, and one morning, after everything was moved, they found their son curled up, sleeping on his bedroom floor. They asked their son if he was okay. The son felt fine and said his imaginary friend led him onto the floor. The parents thought nothing of it, but continued finding their son curled up on his bedroom floor. The parents asked others for solutions to their son's behavior. Someone recommended having a kahuna look at their house. A kahuna is someone skilled in ancient Hawaii's mystic arts. The family contacted a kahuna, and the kahuna examined the house. In the child's room, the kahuna felt a presence where the child would be found curled up. The kahuna also discovered that the parents moved their child's bed into the path of the night marchers, and the presence was leading the child from his bed out of the night marcher's path. The kahuna recommended the family place tea plants around their house and check under the house. The father took a friend to dig beneath the house's crawl space and found human bones under the spot where the child would be curled up. Coming up is your featured Hawaiian song and word. Listeners, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram and share Legends from the Pacific with your friends and family. As stated earlier, our closing story was based on different accounts. It's believed my family is safe from night marchers because, as stated in our Kamehameha episode, my ancestor, the Kauai Ali'i Chief Ka'iana, died at the Battle of Nu'uanu, so it's likely he'd be in the procession. Members from the Hawaii Ghost Hunter Society knew I'd be safe during our investigations and joked if we encountered something, the first rule was to grab me, then run, because they knew I'd stay to examine things. The Hawaii Ghost Hunter Society was mentioned in our Dr. Glenn Grant episode, and I suspect my lineage might be another reason why Dr. Grant wanted to form the society with me. I've possibly encountered the Night Marchers a number of times. Once, while my mom and I were visiting my sister in Hilo on the Big Island, we heard her Hawaiian neighbors partying, and they got louder as the night progressed. Around midnight, the party was still going, but a conch shell was blown. The sound silenced the party, and the conch shell continued throughout the night. Another time, I told Dr. Grant about seeing what looked like night marchers, but their details didn't match with what I knew about night marchers. Dr. Grant explained this procession is rare and included gods and demigods. This god procession might occur on another night, like the 14th night, known as Po-Akua. As stated earlier, Akua means gods, so Po-Akua is the night of gods. We encountered night marchers during a Ghost Hunter Society investigation. Dr. Grant had us do a live investigation during his radio show, so I had him on my phone's speaker. We told Dr. Grant about drumming getting louder. Dr. Grant did not hear the drumming on my phone, but yelled at us to leave. We wanted to investigate further, but Dr. Grant insisted we return to our cars. We called off the investigation, and he confirmed we were about to encounter the Night Marchers. Today, the Night Marchers continue their procession across the islands. A popular pu'uhonua, or place of refuge, is the Big Island City of Refuge, Pu'uhonua o Hona'una'u National Historic Park. Also on the Big Island are Hawaiian petroglyphs depicting what is believed are night marchers. This could mean the night marchers could predate the Hawaiian kingdom. And finally, it's believed if your home's front door lines up with your back door, this may attract ghosts and night marchers. If you like what you heard, please give us a rating, write a review, and share Legends from the Pacific with your friends and family. I'd really appreciate it. Our theme song is Mystery by Tavana, courtesy of High Sessions. Sound effects were by Sound Effects Factory. Our music coordinator is Matt Duffy, aka DJ TripleBypass. Links and show notes can be found on our website, legendsfromthepacific.com, including a link to your featured song, which is Dragon, an ukulele piece by Jake Shimabukuro, courtesy of High Sessions. Your featured Hawaiian word is Kane. As stated earlier, Kane is a Hawaiian god or Akua, but Kane is also Hawaiian for man. An example for Kane would be Dr. Glenn Grant was a Kane. Once again, Kane is Hawaiian for man. Legends from the Pacific was written, produced, and edited by me, Kamuela Kaneshiro. I also wrote our original stories. Thank you once again for listening. Mahalo and ahui ho.